Happy Learning Disability Week. Yes, it is apparently Learning Disability Week. And here in the Isle of Man, they've been doing it, but sadly, I haven't had much to do it because I had a cold and a cough. That's why there's been no videos or live streams. If you're wondering, yeah, I got a bit bad cough and cold. I'm a bit bad, but anyway. Yeah, so someone with a disability, as you might not know, and people probably know on this channel, I've, had a disability, and for years I was even bullied for having YouTube when I was younger as someone with a disability in school. I told you that stories. Anyway, not much now. Anyway, so over the years people said I had dyslexia, and there's been other disabilities thing. Though recently my other disability site's got a bit worse, partially sighted. So thing. But I also have a rare condition called BBS, Bardet syndrome, and it's like a learning eyes and kidneys and all different things. And also recently their team that's in the UK, so I went over to them last year in Birmingham, and then this year I did call. Anyway, in the middle of seeing them, like I think it was a couple months ago, I did some assessments with a lady that was from the UK, and called. It was like the BBS had a psychologist, and that psychologist the lady got one of her ladies to do the assessments, and they recommended it was like autism. So yeah, and then when the report come here, my social worker, it was like, oh yeah, I think he said, the way he explained to me, he gave it to a bunch of people and said it was a working autism assessment, but it's got me into AI. Anyway, so yeah, that's my disabilities, and hopefully, wherever you are around the world, celebrate your disabilities. Where did I just took? Yeah, I took my lanyard off. I should have started. Yeah, but if you see people with the sunflower lanyard, that might mean that they got a hidden learning disability, and they might they might struggle with noise or busyness, and yeah. So what is good and bad on silence? Good, we have some staff trying to help, but bad is they don't always get everything because they can't help all the time, because the management that sit in big offices and don't actually see the people with disabilities half the time. The bad thing is the Disability Respite Centre that was supposed to get a new building is still waiting. That's kind of bad, really bad. Also recently, it's bad that in Tynwald, that's our parliament, MHK even put in a thing to try and get funding for autism, assessments, and it's really bad for people that can't, get the UK to help them or thing. There's no way to get done. It's really bad. Yeah. And I'm surprised there's not been more money put into disability services. But anyway, so yeah, that's a couple takes. I did a longer one on TikTok. Check out my TikTok about all this. Anyway, so yeah, happy Learning Disability Week to all my friends and colleagues and everyone with a disability and other content creators with disability. Happy Learning Disability Week. Hopefully maybe more things will happen in the future, about all this.